Local volunteers are on standby to help in the aftermath of Hurricane Ian.
CBS 8's Chris Groh joining us live outside Red Cross headquarters in Kearney Mesa. Chris, we know you're watching this hurricane very closely.
A lot of people watching this very closely, even here in California, not just because they have family members in Florida, but also there are some that are on standby to volunteer for the Red Cross. But I also just learned that there are now 5 Red Cross volunteers from the San Diego chapter who are now in Florida, again, working with all of those volunteer efforts. And you can see right there on your screen, this is just some of the beginning video and images that we are getting into our newsroom, showing the strength of Hurricane Ian and only likely to get worse when we're talking about the flooding, the storm surge, as well as the damage as it continues to make landfall. Now, we also learned from the Red Cross that about 13,000 people spent last night in hundreds of American Red Cross shelters and other evacuation centers across the state of Florida, and that number could go up as those who decided to board up, who weren't necessarily in mandatory evacuation centers, they boarded up, they could still sustain damage to their homes and still need to go to those shelters in the immediate aftermath due to damage to their home, a lack of power, a lack of food, and so forth. So again, this is a very complicated situation when you're talking about the aftermath of a hurricane and what it is that people are in need of and what it is exactly what they're in search of. You have a lot of people who didn't necessarily even have a place to go, and those are people who likely went to those shelters first, and there are a lot of people who got caught off guard by the path of that storm and seemingly were in no man's land. So again, we are waiting to see exactly how many people will need the Red Cross's help, as well as other organizations, when all is said and done. But again, 5 San Diego chapter Red Cross volunteers are already in Florida helping out those people who are in need. 5 more remain in standby, something we're going to continue to follow. And again, if this is something that speaks to you, if you would like to help out, donate or volunteer yourself, you can go to CBS8.com and click on that story link.